Legacy media chose to self-deport from this building, and if you look at the numbers, it's pretty clear why no one followed them. National trust in these mainstream media outlets has cratered to 28%, the lowest ever recorded. The American people don't trust these propagandists because they stopped telling the truth.
A showdown that cuts to the bone of American democracy. The New York Times is suing the United States Department of War. The allegation? That the Pentagon's new press access policy isn't just restrictive, it's unconstitutional, dangerous, and designed to muzzle reporters who don't play by the government's script. Filed in federal court in Washington, D.C., the lawsuit names the Times and its intelligence reporter Julian Barnes as plaintiffs, and on the other side, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell, and the Department of War itself.
Their charge? That the Pentagon's new policy, which bars entry to journalists who don't sign a government-approved newsgathering pledge, gives officials unbridled discretion to suspend or revoke press badges.
Dozens of beat reporters emptied out their offices in the Pentagon in October, refusing to abide by the new rules and restrictions. The New York Times lawsuit seeks the repeal of the new policy. The flashpoint? Pentagon's new credentialing system. Reporters had to sign a pledge agreeing to certain restrictions on how they gather information, both inside and outside Pentagon grounds. Many major outlets refused, and the Pentagon responded by locking them out. But other outlets, especially those known for openly supporting President Trump, were invited back in. The Times calls this viewpoint discrimination, a First Amendment red line. According to Times spokesperson Charlie Stadlander, the policy is an attempt to exert control over reporting the government dislikes, in violation of a free press right to seek information under their First and Fifth Amendment rights protected by the Constitution. And then came Tuesday's Pentagon briefing, the first under the new rules. Pentagon Press Secretary Kingsley Wilson referred to the excluded news outlets as propagandists who stopped telling the truth. For First Amendment lawyers, that was the moment the alarm bell stopped ringing and started blaring.
I would also like to take a moment today to welcome all of you here to the Pentagon briefing room as official new members of the Pentagon Press Corps. We're glad to have you. Legacy media chose to self-deport from this building, and if you look at the numbers, it's pretty clear why no one followed them. National trust in these mainstream media outlets has cratered to 28%, the lowest ever recorded. The American people don't trust these propagandists because they stopped telling the truth. So we're not going to beg these old gatekeepers to come back, and we're not rebuilding a broken model just to appease them. Instead, we're welcoming new media outlets that actually reach Americans, ask real questions, and don't pursue a biased agenda. The public has moved on from the old model, and so will the Pentagon. This is the beginning of a new era. We look forward to working with you to keep the American people informed and to ensure transparency.
This isn't a lonely fight. Dozens of news organizations across the spectrum, including conservative outlets, have rejected the Pentagon's pledge. The Pentagon Press Association praised the Times lawsuit, calling the policy antithetical to a free and independent press. Behind the scenes, the Times explored a joint lawsuit with other organizations. Ultimately, it decided to file alone, but says it welcomes more plaintiffs. In other words, this may just be the first domino. The case now moves to federal court. Expect motions, hearings, and potentially an injunction request that could force the Pentagon to pause the policy. The War Department has not commented yet, and neither has the White House. But the fight is now public and loud.